I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, first of all, I have a cold. Clearly, I have a cold. I apologize to our audience listening to me that I do not sound my southern soft self.
I feel like
But
a lot of people are sick right now. It's
it's
going around.
terrible. It's terrible. And yes, it's awful.
I'm so
But I'm so looking forward to talking to you today. Cindy, we
okay.
had a ball a couple of weeks ago when you and I were in Detroit to see the Lions game. Um, it was it was Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys, and oh my gosh, it was such a blast. But I gotta tell you something, and thank you to our viewers because in I don't know 2.5 2 weeks, 66,000 people have viewed what we had to say, and I'm really not sure why, but thank you. But Cindy, this is all your fault.
Okay. Let's see what comes
Okay.
after that statement.
Okay, you know I don't know anything much about pro football. The
Yep.
only football team I have ever supported is Alabama Crimson Tide Roll Tide.
Yep.
So I got a little bit of football experience in my past because of my boys. But you decided to sell me because you are the best salesperson I've ever met in my life. And you
Wow.
decided not to sell me on Lions football because you knew I wouldn't pay attention to you. You decided to sell me on the story of the Detroit Lions.
Mm.
Yeah. So all this crazy that we're doing right now, me with a sore throat on Riverside to talk to you, is completely your fault.
Well, I blame you because you ask me about the Detroit Lions, and I have to say, hey, this is not my fault what comes out because my governor goes off and I just go blah, 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 because I mean, truly, right? It's when we did that interview, you were like, I was like, what do you want to talk about? She said the Lions. I'm like, let's go because it's the stories that motivate me. So I have a very first question for you though. Which hat am I wearing? Am I wearing the
Okay.
all black or the white? I had white last time, so you tell me because I'm usually prepared. I've got this one
I'm going
for.
black this time, girl. Going
You think
black.
the black is good? All right, we wore the white last time. All right,
Totally coordinates. Yeah.
I
You
know.
got this.
I'm telling you, it is funny. I mean, it just, and there's reasons why I believe this. It is the story. It's the stories behind it of what happens. So, when I watched that back, I was like, that was like one big wait, what's it? Long run on sentence. People,
We had a lot of fun with it. And then, oh my gosh, the game that night was just so crazy. Um,
oh, and there's this YouTube guy. Well, he travels. He's a Dallas fan. And I saw his video. He travels to all the away games with Dallas. I mean, it's fascinating. So he was at that game where we were, and he does a promo before, and he's at the game, and he said, You guys, I have never been in a stadium like this. Like, it
oh,
was so loud. And he said, the fans are incredible. Like, they're so for the Lions. And I was watching it, and it was really fun to see through his perspective. And my brother and I have talked a little bit about it afterwards, and we even said why Detroit fans. We didn't talk about this in our talk, I don't think. Why Detroit fans welcome people in, and we don't get on people who come from different teams to visit us. Because my brother Rob, he said, well, think about it. For 35 years, we've not had a team winning. So when another team comes in and represents, Dallas, we're like, hi, yeah, we're really happy to be here too. You're here, we're here. Isn't this great? We're just enjoying this. Now, some people are bummed right now because we're in a place of needing help, but I'd say most fans are still pretty darn excited with what's happening, what gets to happen in the next few
well, let me
weeks.
just say, and backtracking through a little bit that you hit on. I, as a new-ish Detroit Lions fan, and I just want all of you who don't know, Cindy and I work together in a company called Secure Coaching. And Cindy is the CEO of the company, and she has given all of the team members Lions names. And when
Yep.
Cindy told me that she gave me the name of Amon-Ra St. Brown, I was like, okay, I gotta figure out what that means. Well, then I started studying him. And then I learned that he can always take it in the end zone, which is what I love to do in business. And so I
That's
was like,
so
yes. So I was just falling in love with like the way this guy plays and like the spirit
Mhm.
of him and how the team works and how the team counts on him. So when he was taking those, that ball in the end zone over and over again, I could have been more excited. I said, "Yeah, baby, we're together."
Yeah,
But
and what was it, did you say but? Because I was like gonna interrupt you
no,
there.
but you interrupt me. Go on. I can't talk anyway.
You're doing great, by the way. But no, but it was amazing. I remember thinking we didn't know if Amon Ra was going to play. We didn't know if St. Brown was going to play, and so when we showed up at the stadium, we still didn't know. Oh my gosh! And then the moment when they announced his name, look at me, I'm starting to cry. We were like, "Whoa!" And there's this YouTube where it shows from his perspective, and he gives comment to it. He was just so happy to be well enough to show up too,
Yeah,
and the drama of all that. It was exciting. And again, this is why I love the Detroit Lions. I mean, there's so many stories like this of overcoming. And Amon Ra, he and his brother are both professional players. One's on
right.
another team, he's on this team, and they have a podcast. And what they've done for the country of Germany, because his mom is German,
Right.
his
That's right.
dad is American and from the United States. And what's amazing is when they go back there in the summer and they do a youth camp for kids. And
Amazing.
they're like national heroes there, but they use this platform, whether they win or they lose, to help kids, motivate them, do something new. And honestly, that just brings tears to my eyes because it
Yeah,
puts it all in perspective that this
absolutely.
is a game, but they're using it to help kids, to help others. It's phenomenal.
And Cindy, do you remember how we found out that St. Brown was playing that night
I
before
don't
anybody
remember.
else found out? Because my son, Jordan, who is a huge Lions fan, and he had been to the Lions Cowboys game in Dallas, I think year before last, and I didn't pay attention. I didn't know anything about the Detroit Lions. I didn't know why that was important. So now, well, as soon as he found out that you wanted me to be part of the team and you were inviting all these girls to come to Detroit to watch this game with you, he came over to my house and he said, "Mom, I really have to sit down with you. I have to teach you some things. You cannot go into this as uninformed as you are." He sat down in front of the TV and he literally gave me, he knows St. Brown and his brother's full life story. He sat down, he educated me on all the players, what was going on, how the team worked, Dan Campbell stuff, I mean, the whole thing. So then we were sitting there because you made us get to the stadium 2 hours and 15 minutes before the game. Thank you very much. In the freezing cold. Thank you, Cindy. But it
Indoor
was.
stadium, by the way, for people listening. Indoor
Yes.
stadium.
It was so cold. But so Jordan found out through the media like an hour before it was ever announced. And he was texting me,
That's
"You guys
right.
were out there running around," and I already knew he was in.
I forgot. Hey, listen, this is the thing. When emotions take over, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't even know what's happening. So, yeah, I remember that. And on that point, this is one of the things I love too. If my story before, my dad and I connected around it. And now my brother, who has season tickets for the last, I think, 3 or 4 years, we're talking between games, we're connecting about it. And it brings tears to my eyes. I wish I could call my dad. I wish I could reminisce because it's been decades to celebrate this. But one of the taglines, I don't know, for the Lions is faith, family, and football. And
Mm,
it's like faith that you're going to overcome. And even if you don't, how do you persevere? Family, like points of connection. And it just makes me so excited. And I've jokingly said to some of my guy friends, hey, if you want to hire me for an hour, I'll sit with your wife. If you want her to sit with you and watch a game on Sunday, and you're a Detroit Lions fan, or maybe even another football team, let me talk to them. Let me tell you some of the stories behind it. And I hope by the end of that, hour, they want to watch football with you. Because my sister-in-law goes to all the games.
So you're kind of like proposing a new kind of coaching for men that maybe that they hire you so that their wives start to watch football with them.
Yeah, I can do it. I
I
swear.
know.
I was in a coaching call with someone and we had nothing to talk about the Lions. And I can't remember what she asked me, but I'm still trying to learn to govern my emotions here. She said something about overcoming, and I was like, "Well, let me share a story with you." And
Mm.
so I talked about the overcoming and what that looks like and what that does for others. And I was like, "Well, let me tell you about the Detroit Lions." And I start telling her, and she asked me a couple questions. I don't even remember what I said. After 10 minutes, she goes, "I think I'm a Detroit Lions fan now." I'm like, "Yes."
Oh my gosh. Well, back to Jordan for just a minute. You're right, because a beautiful thing that's happened in you making me fall in love with the Detroit Lions. Hang on a minute. Honey's got to be part of this podcast.
Oh, honey. Hey, cutie. I need a little dog coat. I felt bad when Honey was there. I didn't have a dog coat for him for
Well,
her
that was my
outside.
fault, but we won't do it again. We'll make sure it's a Detroit Lions coat. Um, but, like last week during the game, I was in Key West, and the first text I got was, "Are you watching the Lions game?" from my son Jordan. This beautiful connection. Then he's like, "Oh my gosh, Mom, Hutchison, Hutchison!" He's screaming, 58 yards, interception. Then it was like, "I'm in Ryan," like play by play. He's texting me. It's a really cool thing for a mom to get to have that sort of thing with an adult son. Now,
Yeah.
we all know who know me, their dad died very tragically, my husband, late husband, 5 years ago. And it's been quite a hard journey to figure out as a single mom and trying to hold these boys up as they are becoming men, where to find connection. I
Mm,
would never have known that I'd be finding connection with my adult son through the Detroit Lines, but it's really cool. It gives us something safe to talk about. We're so hopeful when they play. We can't wait. So I want to thank you, even though you've made me get out here publicly and talk about pro ball. And I wanted to backtrack to something else you said, and then you got to talk for a minute because I don't have much
oh
voice.
my gosh, girl.
Okay, you said so many things. I got to go back to them all. All right. The thing I also wanted to say to anybody listening to this, it's been a long time since I've been to Detroit. What I couldn't believe was how good that city looks, how clean that
Mm,
city is, how kind every single person was to us, whether we were in the hotel, whether we were, walking the streets up to the stadium. Everything was organized, everything was hopeful. I mean, and it looked beautiful. The city itself looked so beautiful. And that's a hand in hand. That is the
yeah.
Detroit Lions, coming
Yeah.
back, rebuilding after all this time and years of losses. It's Dan Campbell's messaging.
Oh,
It's Sheila Fortham saying, "Yeah, nobody else wants to take this team. I'm going to take this team."
oh. Yeah.
I'm like, yes, this is what true, you know, I don't know all the words that I want around this because I
Vision,
can't
belief.
share vision, belief, courage, bravery, and commitment. Commitment from the city, commitment from the team. I think it's also commitment in the brand, that the guys themselves, the team themselves, even when they lose, like last week, they're still so committed to what's next. What was it that Dan Campbell said? I loved what he said at the end of the game. You remember?
They'd have to tell me which one because I've listened to a lot from him because I
I know,
love a lot of
but
what he said.
when he was like, "Yeah, no, you know, yeah, it was a loss. Yeah, it was a
Yes.
really
Oh,
hard loss.
okay. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it hurt, but we're just going to go back in. We're going to
Yep.
reorg. We're going to try harder." Like he didn't even miss a step. He was not going to get into victim mentality. He
I
was
know.
going right back into those guys he believes with more than his heart, all of his being. And he was going to encourage them, say, "Job well done. We can do better next time."
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons when I watched the game and I was sad they lost. I mean, they
Mm.
lost to Seattle. It was a hard loss. There's a lot of stories in that involve Goff and, Matthew Stafford, who's their quarterback that's amazing. And it's been 5 years since Goff's been with us, but watching Dan Campbell afterwards, and I was amazed at his speech. I was amazed at what he said to the press, actually. He was like, "Yeah, this is hard. We didn't want to lose this." So he's facing reality. He's not like toxically positive. He's like, "Yeah, this is hard." He owned it. And then he said, "But we're going to transition and we're going to get to work and we're going to do the next thing." And it's just like what that communicates is life is hard. It's you're going to
Oh,
have ups and downs, and where do you go with that? And we met this amazing woman, Armika, and it was to hear she's done work with DJ who got the Walter Payton Award for like Man of the Year. I know it was so exciting, but she was giving us a glimpse into what they do even behind the scenes. And I know that from watching how they use their platform to help others. And just to talk about Hutch for a second, I mean, he goes into hospitals and he meets with kids who are overcoming cancer, overcoming horrible situations. Can you imagine if he goes in there like, yeah, we lost. And you know what? I want to give up and we're going to give up. And you know what? This sucks. It was his fault. It was, what does that teach those poor kids?
no, that's
Like
not what the message is.
adversity is you give up. No, they're like bringing in, yes, this is really hard what you're going through too.
Yeah.
And yet you're not alone. We're with you. So I love that overcoming attitude. And, we're not to a place with the Lions yet that we need a miracle. We could win these next 3 games, honestly, and get into the playoffs. If these other teams lose, it can happen. It really can. But and I love this quote, everyone wants to experience a miracle, but nobody wants to be in a position to need one.
True. I don't know that quote, but good one.
I heard it like 15 years ago. I heard it again
And
5 years ago.
again,
But
no, everyone
no
wants
one
to experience.
Yes, everyone wants to experience a miracle,
No one
but
wants to be in
nobody
a
wants to be in a
position.
position to need one
Well, I
because
agree
that's
with you.
risk.
We don't need a miracle yet. And I
We
want to
don't
speak to
yet.
that a little bit more. And we're in the business, Cindy, you and I, coaching in the world,
Yep.
um, of being present in people's pain. And we've all got pain. And I always say, when we share our pain, it lessens its power. And
Yes.
and I think it's so easy, you know, to take a team that has had a couple of losses and maybe trash talk it a little bit, not believe in them as much as you did the night they won against Dallas, start kind of not being as supportive. And I'm like, absolutely not. This is when we as fans need to support the very most. This is
Yeah.
when we need to undergird. This is when we need to circle the ranks and say, these are our boys. We
Yeah.
got to go after this. And it's how we live life too. I mean, some of
Absolutely.
my struggles. I don't even want to have to tell them out loud. It's been a lot.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I've been on a long 5-year survival journey. And if every time it started to go down, I gave up, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today. So I really want to encourage people, don't give up on these guys. Don't give up on this team. Now we got 3 games to play. Let's give them all our energy, all our positivity.
And what's cool is learning from the science of happiness. Like there's been classes on this of what that does for our nervous systems. And I play this out with my brother, which is really fun. We've sat there together and watched games, and he's all stressed. I'm like, dude, you know what you're doing to yourself right now? Like partnering with this pain and this fear and stuff. Let's just keep believing because what it releases in us. And I get it. It can be hard. We're just struggling through it sometimes as we watch, but I can speak for me. How I want to attend, even if we then need a miracle, is I don't want to show up like, oh gosh, we need a miracle. And bring that into the stadium. I want to be like, okay, we need a miracle. What's going to happen here? And I'm so excited to see how this plays out. And even if it doesn't, I'm going to grieve it. I'm going to be sad. It's hard, but I'm also going to celebrate what's already happened. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Wait, can I tell the story of Phil Rivers? Phil Rivers?
Oh my gosh, Phillip Rivers. I'm
This
from Alabama. I'm sitting here right now in Birmingham, Alabama. He's in Decatur, Alabama. I mean, what did Tom Brady say? Hey, last Sunday when he laying
Yeah,
on his
and first of all, I love Tom Brady as an announcer. I hate to say this to other people if anyone hears it. He's my favorite because I'm learning so much about football. And when he was playing for New England, I didn't like him, and my dad's like, Cindy, you can't not like him. He's from Michigan. I'm like, oh, okay. When what he did coming back and his overcoming story is pretty phenomenal with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But when he was doing the game last year, he was announced last week for the Lions. He said, can you imagine Phil Rivers? He's retired for 5 years as a quarterback.
Y'all,
They
he's
call him
44 years old. He's
44
44.
years old.
He's a
I don't
father of
know who
9.
called him.
He's a grandfather. Okay. He's teaching high school football in Decatur, Alabama right now.
I know.
And
It's
what happened?
Well, it's funny because Tom Brady starts laughing. He's like, I want to know what he was doing last week. And then my brother and I were laughing. He goes, can you imagine? He's probably on the couch eating Doritos and being like, he gets a phone call. Hey, we need you. Will you come back and quarterback? And he's like, okay. So my brother's like, he should be in like a Doritos commercial or Pringles. Like, this is what can happen in your life. So always be ready. I mean, they didn't win, but he played so well. What a Cinderella story right
I
there.
know, right? I just love that.
Those are the things that we need to celebrate.
And that's a great story going into the holidays. We all need a lot of hope right now. Holidays
Yes.
are hard. They're hard
Yeah.
when you've had losses in your life. They're hard because the world has a lot of negativity going on in it right now. We're all experiencing that. But let's cling to these stories like Phil Rivers is amazing. Cindy, I know
Yep.
you got to go coach a bunch of women. I hope they're all Lions fans.
Well, it's like I said, you want to hear about the Lions? I'm warning you. You asked me the question.
Okay, you got just a few minutes. Tell me in one of your beautiful run on long paragraphs everything you'd like to say to the Lions right now.
To the players?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay.
Here she goes.
No, first of all, I fight the tears. I'm like, I am so grateful for what you've done. I'm so grateful that you're persevering. I'm so grateful for what you've allowed your families to go through for the sake of helping others. I'm so grateful that you use your platforms, that you face adversity. Anybody who's been in the Lions or with the franchise more than 10 years, I'm so grateful for you because honestly, you have been there. There's not been a lot of praise or, we like you, but you have stuck with it. That's a resilience I honestly can't relate to. It's unbelievable. It's so powerful. And so there are fans out there who are with you all the way to the end. And even if it ends, they lose. I can't wait for next year. So that's what I want to say.
Absolutely. Hey guys, we love you. Happy holidays if we don't come back online before next week's Christmas. And we are rooting for you all the way. Go Lions!
Woo!
Love you, Cindy.
Mwah.